So shout out to everybody coming up in the space. Shout out to everybody. Black by popular demand. Shout out to you. Shout out to Major X as well. I see we got my sister Carissa. Carissa look like you the only sister up in the spot with us for right now. So shout out to you. Going by your profile. I see you got a female profile, so I don't want to go ahead a woman profile, so I don't want to say that you're not a woman. So, but I mean, if you are, shout out to you as well too. Definitely look for. I'd be glad to have the actual women up in the space, especially not just sitting there, but also talking to. I love to hear what the women got to say and add to the discussion. That Negro, it's been a minute since I heard from you up in one of the spaces as well too. I know you come up in here, you just be chilling and whatnot, and I definitely appreciate that. But you know, you're definitely a supporter of the platform. Like that's why a lot of our supporters actually support the platform. They don't actually want to speak, and I respect that. They just say, "Hey, we're gonna come up in here and listen for a minute or whatever and see what's what." But I definitely respect that. But I do wish my people they want to come on up here and speak as well too. So yeah, man, we're gonna be definitely getting it in tonight. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a nice conversation. Let a few more of our people get up in here. Yeah, this story's starting to make its rounds in the media as well too. The story's starting to gain some traction. Anytime it's something dealing with race like that, and especially when you got some young kids involved and stuff like that. It kind of it's making its rounds as well too. So very interesting to see you old boys out of jail, and a lot of people aren't too happy about that. So we can exactly see they're trying to say it was just horseplay, nothing to be taken serious. No need to ruin his life, basically. But hey, he almost killed somebody. I mean, allegedly. Let me go ahead and put that word allegedly out there as well, too, guys. Allegedly, almost killed somebody. So we can definitely go ahead and get this thing rolling, rolling, rolling. I know you guys been keeping up with everything going on in the actual media and everything with the news. And last night was a good space too. If you guys missed it, definitely go ahead and check that space out last night. It was a very interesting space that we had. We was talking about the situation with the Gullah Geechee and the land that was being stolen up there. We were talking about the agents that was fraternity that was people felt was biting off of black culture. We was talking about Kevin Porter Jr., the basketball player, and his situation going on with the girlfriend and everything. And we talking about the VMAs and just the level of, I don't know what you can say with the VMAs, but we discussed that last night as well too. So if you did not catch that actual space, definitely go back and catch that space. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and check it out as well too, guys. So you know what, guys? I was actually talking and I was actually mute. I was actually my people on YouTube. If for the folks that come in YouTube, make sure you go ahead tonight, subscribe, share, comment on the actual broadcast. But last night was a good space. What I was telling everybody, and if you get a chance, if you did not catch that space last night on the VMAs, on the Kevin Porter Jr. situation, the Asian fraternity, and the Gullah Geechee fighting to protect their land, definitely go ahead and keep that and definitely check that actual space out as well too, guys. Just definitely go ahead and check that space out. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna start touching up on the actual topic for tonight real quick. I don't intend on having a long space tonight. It's a Thursday, and everybody's getting to the part they're trying to enjoy their weekend, and we won't keep people too long tonight as well. Either that space last night kind of went further than what I thought, but you know, it is what it is sometimes. So give me 1 second, guys. Let me go ahead and get this out here, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start digging into the actual topic for tonight. Start digging into the topic. That's from Black Enterprise. It says 14-year-old white boy accused of trying to drown a black boy released from jail. A white 14-year-old accused of trying to drown a black boy in Cape Cod has been identified upon his release from jail. John Sheeran, 14, was released to the custody of his father on Monday, September 11, after he was indicted on charges of attempted murder and assault with a dangerous weapon, NBC News report. The charges by way of a grand jury came from a July 19, 2023 incident at Goose Pond in Massachusetts, where a black teen claims he was a victim of a racially motivated attack. Sheeran is accused of repeatedly dunking the black teen under the water while another white teen laughed and called him George Floyd. The black teen says he told Sheeran and his friend that he could not swim and needed to wear a life jacket, but Sheeran proceeded to try to pull him under the water 4 or 5 times. The black youth also says racial slurs like boy were used in the incident that escalated over stone throwing. Of the youth present at the pond claimed to have seen Sheeran atop of the black child in the water and did hear someone say George Floyd, according to the police. Last month, Sheeran was indicted by a Barnstable County grand jury in order to be held without bail. He remained in custody of the Department of Youth Services up until his release on Monday. As part of his release, pending trial, a judge ordered him to be subjected to GPS monitoring, stay with his father, report to probation regularly, and stay away from the potential witness in the case. His lawyer believes the charges are over the top for the more horseplaying between the youth that got out of control, the Boston Globe reports. Everyone involved in the case is a youth and has had their names redacted. Sheeran is the exception since he's been tried as a youthful offender. Prosecutors in the scenario have discretion to seek an adult sentence for children between ages 14 and 17 years old who were charged with a felony or meet other criteria, including a charge involved in the infliction of threat of seriously body harm. The Select Board Regional School District released a statement denouncing the incident and reinforcing their stand for diversity and inclusion. So yes, sir. This young man, luckily he did not kill this kid that was up there, and this was up in the Massachusetts area. Shout out Hilda, I see you up in here as well too. This was up in the actual Massachusetts area that all of this took place and went down at. Luckily, the kid wasn't killed. The white kid was released to his father. He's the only one whose picture, like I said, they're actually showing. The actual story is going viral. More and more people are talking about it. It's going to be interesting to see if he actually gets tried as an adult. I don't think he's going to be tried as an adult. I think that they're going to go ahead and say that, this was just, horseplay that got out of control. We see time and time again, so many times that you have incidents where actually grown people actually killing people and they find a way to go ahead and minimize it. So I personally don't think that this dude is going to actually be tried as an adult. I think that, they're going to say he's a juvenile. He didn't mean it, this and that or whatever. We talk about Massachusetts. Massachusetts is one of the most racist places in the actual country as well, too. People think as you're up north that you ain't racist, but Massachusetts is plenty racist. Like I said, the story is starting to circulate pretty well right now. I don't see it. He was pretty much let go to his father. A lot of black people are up in the uproar. They felt that, hey, he should be locked up somewhere right now. If it was a black kid and this was reversed, he would probably be in juvie, getting ready to be tried as an adult. And the fact of the matter that this white kid was released, to his father, a lot of people are upset about that. DJ, I see you up in the space as well, too. So I'm going to send you the co-host. I'm not sure if you're up in here or you still doing your errand, but whenever you get a chance, you can accept that. Yeah, man, this is another instance. Well, once again, this guy, the skin of his color is pretty much able to let him get out of jail. I know, Carissa, I know you were saying earlier today, too. I know you hit me with DM and you felt that he should still be in jail. A couple other people told me that this actual incident actually took place not too far from where they were living at. So, apparently we got some of our people up here on these spaces and on Twitter that's up in the actual Massachusetts area as well, too. And, apparently some of them know about this situation. I heard about the situation. I'm not exactly sure how the black kid is doing right now. I'm sure it had to be something else, somebody trying to drown you or potentially drown you. Let me go ahead and say allegedly too, because we got to say allegedly, allegedly tried to drown you. Let me just go ahead and say that allegedly tried to drown you. And you heard other kids say that they actually did hear the George Floyd comment. It's crazy that you got teenagers sitting up here making fun of like that George Floyd was killed the way he was killed. People talk about George Floyd and this and that or whatever. So a lot of people, in America think the George Floyd situation was something funny and something to make light of. This man lost his life or whatever. So, you did hear apparently you had some kids saying they heard somebody. I don't know if it was a kid that was actually doing it, but they heard say George Floyd. But apparently you had some other children saying that this situation was going on. I don't know if you guys saw the actual video that went viral as well too, when you had the football coach sitting up here barking at this kid. I think he was 13, 14 years old, physically threatening him, telling him, and I don't know if that was in Florida or not, physically threatening and telling him to get up and what he would do to him, and talk about he told his mom and stuff like that. I mean, big ass coach, about 250, 260 pounds, sitting up here with a teenage boy that looks scared out of his wits, and you can't really blame him. You got a grown man sitting up here basically challenging this kid to a fight, telling him to get up or whatever. I did not catch the whole video. The part I seen, he is sitting up here, he is in this kid's face, he is barking, threatening him, telling him to get up, what he would do, and this and that or whatever. You know, now somebody told me that somebody said that they believe that they're investigating the situation or whatever. But if this coach don't lose his job, then that's a major issue right there. I've never, I've had football coaches and stuff like that as well too. A bunch of us have played sports and stuff like that, and coaches will challenge you to a certain degree. But then I can't ever remember a coach sitting up here physically threatening one of us to a fight, telling us, hey, get up and let's see what's what and this and that, challenging. Telling the boy to get on up here, hoping that he gets up so he can actually put his hands on them. So we're having these type of situations pop up more and more again. Teenage boy here against a grown man. In this case here, I don't know how many kids, and I don't know how many witnesses was at this actual situation right here up in Massachusetts where they were, pushing the boy head underneath the water. It sounds like you had some other kids around, but they didn't say the amount of kids that was actually there to actually witness this or whatever. So I'm not sure if it was a handful of kids, it was a couple of kids or whatever, what have you. But apparently, you had some other eyewitnesses that actually saw what was going on. It says something about a stone throwing incident. So I don't know if they had, they was messing around earlier and people was throwing rocks. Sometimes you have kids throwing rocks at each other, even playing games and stuff like that, throwing rocks at each other, trying to hit each other. And I don't know if one of the kids, the white kid or whatever, took it, misconstrued it or took it a certain way or whatever. The kid, one thing I would say this about it, the black kid say he couldn't swim. I don't know why he was out there in the water. For one, man, don't go nowhere. If you can't swim, please don't get out there in the water, especially around some other kids, especially around a bunch of white kids as well, too. If you can't swim, do not get out there in the water. If you can't swim, make sure you do have some kind of life raft on or something like that. For the fact of the matter that, that you got out there, son, you got to think too, man. You got to think about your surroundings and where you at. And I know you're a young kid or whatever, but definitely think about that. Never get out in the water. If you can't swim, never get out there in the water without something, some kind of float or something like that, or, something on you. You just don't do that. But we're going to see exactly, like I say, how this situation, where it goes at, because this is a very unique situation. I want to see how the media handles it as well, too, because right now we're talking about the horseplay. They're looking for a way to go ahead and I wouldn't be surprised if if they didn't try to find a way in Massachusetts to actually throw this case out, give this kid a little slap on the wrist, a warning and this and that. I definitely don't see them trying him as an adult. I would be totally shocked if this white kid gets tried as an adult, because it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be one of the situation where boys will just be boys. And, well, they got out of hand. Sometimes boys horseplay and things get out. And that's true. Kids do horseplay and stuff like that, but not to the point like that. I mean, I've never been I've been in the pools before, down here in Florida. Never seen anybody sitting up here deliberately pushing somebody head underneath the water a bunch of times, allegedly. Let me say that again, allegedly, not allowing that person to actually get a chance to actually breathe or anything like that as well. They said that this kid is on GPS monitoring and all this and all of that or whatever. I wonder what the actual bail was. Was it a bail? Just what's going on with this situation right here? Like I say, Black Enterprise, they're one of the ones that released, and it's a bunch of different Black-owned sites that's actually putting this out here. I'm trying to think, the CNN or any of the other major, mainstream medias. I'm trying to think if Fox or any of them actually put this article out there, if it's circulating, anything like that of that nature as well, too. So, yeah, guys, this is going to be the topic for tonight. We're going to be discussing this. Definitely for those that's that's up in the space and that want to speak on it, definitely come on up here and talk about it. I see my boy Ray is up in here as well too. Carlos, shout out to you. Shout out to Sassy, Alyssa. Shout out to Virus. Shout out to everybody that's up in the space tonight, guys. This is a Thursday night Twitter space. You guys know we're gonna do a space tonight, and we'll probably won't be back to Monday. So let's definitely go ahead and get it in tonight as much as possible. We only gonna keep the space open as long as the actual participation levels are there as well too. So like I said, I saw this article, been seeing it for a while. Tweeted it out a couple days ago as well too. Tweeted back out. Um, no major developing stories happening with it right now, but I figured that hey, it's worth mentioning. It's worth talking about. It's worth keeping in the actual public consciousness as well too. So we want to go ahead and, like I said last night with the actual story with the Gullah Geechee and the property, definitely certain things we gotta keep out there so the mainstream media won't go ahead and let it fall by the wayside. This is definitely one. The black kid and the other kids involved or whatever, their identities are being redacted, so nobody's talking about them. Like I say, surprisingly enough, one of the few times that I can think of where a white kid's face and name is actually put out there for the public to actually see it. So normally when it's a juvenile and their name is out there and their face or picture, whatever's out there in the public and it's circulating, normally it's always a black kid. In this instance, and I don't know the actual law in Massachusetts or whatever, but I guess they were saying if you were charged with a felony or something like that, they could put it out there if it's going to be about trying you as a potential adult. Let's wait and see if this actually happens. He's going to be tried as an adult. Like I say, I have my doubts about that. I seriously don't think that they're going to find a way to charge this kid as an adult. I think it'll be some kind of excuse. I'm sure there'll be some kind of back alley deal between the DA and the prosecutors and him. They probably try to get him to plead this or that. Don't be surprised if he's not doing community service or something different or whatever. What is some kind of intervention, or they'll try to do what's the word I'm thinking about? What's the word I'm thinking about when they have and the word has slipped my mind right now that I'm thinking about, but it's going to be something. It's going to be something that they're going to go ahead and try to say, you know what? Yeah, he's 14. We don't want to ruin his life and this and that or whatever. So I want to hear what the people in the space think too, man. Do you guys think that that this kid should face some serious time, some serious what's the type of punishment that he should actually see? You know, is it the fact that he's young and that hey, this should just be something that a learning experience, something that hey, he's a young kid, he messed up or whatever, and we should pretty much let it go like that, or should he get the same justice that a lot of black boys at his age at 14 would have got for the same incident right here, because he is being charged with attempted murder. I mean, let's not joke around with the actual seriousness of the charge. He is actually being charged with attempted murder. Like, let me look back and see, because I'm actually reading an article tonight off the actual site. So let me go ahead and if I can get back to the damn site, let me go ahead and see exactly what he was charged with. He was indicted on charges of attempted murder and assault with a dangerous weapon. So yeah, and is this actually a hate crime too? When you think about it, because I mean, if you're talking about George Floyd and this and that or whatever, if you're invoking the name of George Floyd, they could have actually gave him an actual hate crime and charge him with it as well too. So definitely, like I say, guys, definitely should he also face a hate crime? I mean, when we think about it, because a lot of times we sit up in these spaces and we talk about some of these situations, people say, well, this person should also been hit with a hate crime or this and that as well too. So should this dude also have had an actual hate crime that he actually got as well too? So that's another thing to think about right there. So definitely. Ray was up in the space. Let me see if DJ's up in the space as well too, guys. 'Cause like I said, we ain't gonna keep it going too long or whatever. So let me see. It was another case. I'm trying to think. It was another case involving some teenagers as well, two teenagers or something. I'm trying to think that it is slipping my mind that I also wanted to discuss tonight, but I cannot remember that actual case as well too. So Yeah, man, it was something else that I am trying to think about, but I cannot remember that actual case. So, but anyways, like I said, that's the actual that is the actual situation for tonight. That is the actual topic of the room. Let me see if I can find this. It was another story that I was going to speak on, but I cannot find it. I'm trying to remember what that story was, but it just slipped my damn mind, so I cannot remember exactly what it was. Shakes. Let me see if I can find it. Also, I don't know if you guys remember, but the actual couple that had the baby that was born at the hospital, and the baby, they're suing the hospital where the baby was actually born, but the they actually the child's head was actually decapitated at birth by the actual doctor that was actually bringing the child into the world. We did a space on that a while ago as well too. You had an instance where the hospital they're saying was trying to cover it up. That you had a bunch of nurses and stuff like that, and other medical people that actually played a part in actually trying to cover that up as well too. So that is the space is kind of slowing up a little bit, but yeah, that was also another story as well too. But yeah, the parents, that was about a month or so ago. We did that space on where the actual child was born, and somehow the child's neck was almost, decapitated at birth. I don't know what it was, and they were saying that the actual hospital actually was wrapping the child up, and they didn't want the parents to actually see the child. Then when they did bring, they had the child's body wrapped so tight, and the actual I guess I don't know if it was like tried to swallow the child, had it wrapped so tight that you couldn't actually see the child, like where it looked like the head was still connected when in actuality it wasn't. I know that's kind of grotesque to say it like that, but unfortunately that's how it was. But yeah, that parent, that couple is actually they're suing the hospital, which of course only makes sense. It makes sense to go ahead and sue them for exactly if for what happened, what took place with that child as well too. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Yes, Sun Gaze. DJ, what's up? You in the space?
Yeah, I'm here. Newstoter, what's up, man? Newstoter family, what's going on? How y'all feeling tonight?
Good, good, good. You did hear that story too, because that how far is Massachusetts from Jersey where you stay at?
Uh, it's still about 4 hours, give or take, depending how fast you travel or whatever, you know what I mean? But it also depends what part of Massachusetts you're going out to. But to get from here to Massachusetts, like the lower level, like Boston, Springfield area, which is like all the way lower level south, it's probably about 3.5, 4 hours.
Okay, and yeah, I know you heard about this story as well too about the actual what's your thoughts on this? Because they're trying this child, they're trying the teenager for attempted murder, um, and something. Damn, I forgot attempted murder, and I forgot the other charge that quick. But do you think they should also throw in a hate crime as well too?
Hey, throw it all in there, because at the end of the day, what the hell you doing trying to drown somebody? You know what I'm saying? So, if they white, why can't we get the same protections that these Asians and Jews got when they get a hate crime put on them by white people? But the news media turn around and say it's black people attacking them. So, hey, hopefully they get all of damn charges. Matter of fact, put premeditated murder on them too. So that way the shit really stick like some peanut butter. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and like I said before, as I was reading the story, I don't know if he was in here, but they also said somebody was out there screaming George Floyd, calling him George Floyd as well. To apparently there was other kids out there, and other kids said that that they pretty much was collaborating the story that hey, they heard somebody call him George Floyd, and they also saw him like I guess trying to push him down with his body, use his body allegedly to try to push the other teenager down as well too. The boy couldn't swim, and like I was saying before, like man, if you can't swim, make sure you do not get out there in the actual water. I don't care what age you are. If you can't swim, don't get out there in that water, please. Straight up. I know this was a young cat, whatever, but if you're gonna get out there in the water, definitely make sure that you have some kind of life raft on, or something. But at the same time, I wonder how many black kids was out there with this dude. Was he out there with just a group full of white kids? You think maybe, or something like that, or what?
Yeah, most likely if you're in Boston, yeah, Massachusetts area, yeah, it's all white folks up there. Ain't too many black people up there. And if we is, we scattered or, you know, uh, congregate in one area or whatever. You know what I mean? Same thing up here in Jersey. It's black people in New Jersey, black Negroes, freemen, but we're scattered up here. And obviously, if we're talking North Essex County area, North is 51% predominantly Black American, for the most part, / black mixed up with other black ethnicities. But for the most part, we're just scattered a bit. When we talk about, when we talk about Black state of America, hey, if everybody that's black in New Jersey just move back to like 1 or 2 counties and shit, go take over Essex County, go take over Camden County. See what I'm saying? Go take over Hudson County and Union County at this point, because it's starting to turn pretty much diverse. I guess I want to say it's black, but it's diverse. I'm in Union County right now. So with that being said, it ain't a lot of us up here. This is why the Black State of America plan, is the best thing for us. And especially they go the same for folks that's out here on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? You out there on the West Coast, you might want to think about coming east and down into the South, man. Keep it real. You might really want to think about this. Don't lie, but let me move my mic for a minute.
No doubt, no doubt. And I will say this right here: for our black kids that's out there, the teenagers and whatnot, even the young adults, be careful when you're the only black in the face of white. When you're the only black person that's there and stuff like that, be careful. Be definitely careful of how you go about handling yourself and everything that's going around, especially for those in college and stuff. Be careful if you're drinking and everything else, and you go out and you're hanging out with some of your white buddies as well too, because if something goes sideways, anything like that, you just never know what may pop off, and you may never know what you may get blamed for as well too. I'm pretty sure this kid probably was friends with these guys, was straight with them and this and that or whatever. And then all of a sudden, for the simple fact that they saw that this one cat allegedly saw that perhaps this kid could not swim or whatever, and decided to go ahead and use leverage for that. This is the kind of situation that we got right here. Like I said, I'm not surprised, because white folks don't like to go ahead and put the hate crime thing in there too. I'm sure they feel like he's too young to actually have an actual hate crime, and they're going to say, well, this is more dealing with horseplay and this and that or whatever. And that there was no racial aspect behind it, even though we heard allegedly, and some of the actual people that was there heard the actual George Floyd reference as well too. When you start throwing George Floyd out there, when you got these young cats out here throwing George Floyd out there, it totally becomes racial. It totally becomes all about race as well too. So nobody's going to sit up there all of a sudden and just put George Floyd, not no white kids, just put George Floyd name in there. It's a reason that you throwing George Floyd name out there. You think something is funny. You think, I guess they felt that, he was fighting for his life like George Floyd as well too. So let me go ahead and let me go ahead and put George Floyd's name in this situation right here, because everybody knows, and these kids know. This is only a couple years ago. They know George Floyd lost his life or whatever. So, and they know exactly how he lost his life. So that's why they went ahead and they put that out there as well too. You read what my man Nightfall's got to say over there in YouTube land as well too. Shout out to you, Nightfall. Glad to have you over there in YouTube. You says more than likely this happened in Massachusetts. Yeah, it happened in Massachusetts. That's why I was trying to figure out, and I'm not familiar with the Massachusetts area. I know you got Boston up there. I know you have a decent amount of black folks that live up in Boston, even though we know Boston is a city that is well known for its racial history towards black people as well too. So you said it has never worked out well for black folks when they're the only black face in the room. Yeah, you got to be careful about that. And that's something, like I said, that's something you got to kind of tell these kids as well too. When they want to go out and hang out with some of their white buddies and this and that or whatever, and kind of got to be a little bit careful of that. It says, remember that black woman who got murked allegedly at a slumber party that had nothing but white women? And of course, nobody knew how she died, and they got off with it. I'll be honest with you, Knife. There's so many situations like that coming up. I can't even tell you. You know what I'm saying? I can't even pinpoint it, to be honest. It's so many different things like that happening. And I know my son was talking about going to spend the night at one of the kids' house that he goes to school with. I like, oh no, like, oh no, we ain't doing that. Like, nothing against this kid or anything like that, but nah, We not spending the night at nobody's house like that. I don't know these people. I don't trust that. I ain't going for that. No, we ain't going there. I'm just being honest. That's something that we ain't doing here. Like, no disrespect to anybody like that, but nah, it's one thing if you're talking about meeting up with somebody and hanging out with them, and even then, I got to know exactly what's up. I see Black Greatness 666 is up in the actual spot up in here as well too. So if you want to come up here and get the microphone to talk about the situation with the actual that went down with the black teen that was the white that almost allegedly, I want to say allegedly almost got drowned by the white kid. Black Greatness, going, you can come on up here and get the microphone. I definitely don't have an issue with you coming up here speaking on the topic or whatever. So definitely definitely come on up here and share your views, your thoughts. If you know anything about the situation anymore as well too, feel free to enlighten us on it. Like I say, I have my personal ideas about this case as it's going. I really think that they're going to look for a way to go ahead and get this kid off as much as possible. And this will make sure they keep this off his record as well too. The fact of the matter that he's out, he's out and he's back with his dad, and people say, yeah, he got GPS and he's got this and he's got that and all this other stuff. But nonetheless, I feel if this was reversed and it was a black boy that did this to a white kid, he'd still be in juvie, and they'd be looking for a way to try him as an adult as well too. So I definitely, like I said, and that goes for anybody. Carissa, are you up in New York? 'Cause I can't remember if you're in New York or you're in one of those northern cities. I know we got some people that's up in here that's in some of these northern cities as well too. So, I know you guys know exactly what's going on with some of the situations up there. There's a lot of news that don't actually make the actual that actually make the actual cut, that we actually don't really know what's going on as well too. So definitely shout out to everybody up in the space as well too. We only gonna keep the space open, guys. Like I said, as long as we got people talking, we're gonna keep the space open. Tonight seems like it is definitely a slow night as well too. I know our people sitting back, relaxing, chilling or whatever, but like I said, if they want to definitely come up in here and talk about this topic, I am free. That's what we hold these spaces for. We want to hear what people got to say about it. I want to get people's opinion about this actual situation, because we want to hold a space on this. Trying to hold spaces on topics that really matter, that really impact Black people's lives and stuff like that. So there's so many different topics that you can hold a space on as well too. But we definitely like to take stuff that's in the actual media, things that's impacting Black people, and actually speak on it and talk about it as well too. So trying to trying to diversify it as much as possible, guys. So go ahead, DJ, you got it.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Hey, my boy Nightfall said, yeah, you already know they're going to get a little racist. Training and training probation. Like, yeah, he's gonna get probation. He gonna get that record expunged. He's gonna get a bunch of different things like that. Like, they gonna make sure they don't go ahead. They already find a way so they can go ahead and and mix this thing up for your boy right here. They already finding a way. So I'm definitely, nothing that they throw out here is gonna surprise me one bit right here. Like I said, the fact of the matter, this also could have a this also they charging them with attempted murder and what they said, assault with a dangerous weapon or something. But they can also, this also really should be a damn hate crime if we want to be honest about it. You sitting up here, BS for probation sentence till he's 18, then it will disappear. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Nightfall. That's all it's going to be. They're going to go ahead and get this cat probation, and that's pretty much all it's going to be. Like, they're gonna find a way. They're already working, and like I say, Massachusetts is known for it's definitely known for its history against Black folks as well too. Boston, and when you think about Boston, you always think about the scene, back in the '70s when they started the busing and everything like that, and something that they really never talk about when they started turning down buses over with the Black kids on there and stuff like that. So Boston, they say that they have a checkered history would be one thing. The great Bill Russell, they used to play for the Boston Celtics. He had a home back in the day when he played in there, and somebody broke in there and defecated all in the man's house like that. Now, Bill Russell, one of the greatest athletes in the history of the NBA, one of the greatest players in the history of the NBA, one of the greatest people that ever live in Boston, and they come up and they break in the man's house and they defecate all up in this place and stuff like that, showing you how much respect they have for him as a person. So Boston, and I know this ain't exactly Boston, but Massachusetts, eh, it's one of those places, man. So DJ, you back up in the space?
I've been here the whole time. Sure. I was just saying I was making a left turn when you started talking.
Oh, you was turning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I see. What's going on, Black Greatness?
What you say now?
Now we got Black Greatness 666. He came up here. You said what's up to him.
Oh, what's up, Black? So, yeah, at the end of the day, exactly what you just said. Shout out to my white homies, but I can't fuck with y'all no more because when we talk about this shit, you don't want to hear and shit. You know what I mean? So this is the same scenario or the objective why we need our black state of America, so that way we don't have to prove a but-for racial clause. So back to the business situation, y'all already heard again, the judge down in Tennessee, Memphis, I believe, denied a case saying that you can't use race as a factor to prove that you've been denied of an SBA loan. So now that this affirmative action thing is out of the way, you're gonna have to prove that a white person now was being prejudiced towards you. See that? So they got the college thing up out of here. They got the business thing up out of here. You pretty much, these kids are out of jail. You know what I mean? They ain't really being charged with nothing serious that's gonna hurt their life, their livelihood, like a black kid would have been if they was in the same situation. Matter of fact, I got an example for you. Anybody know what happened to them kids that killed that white kid, them 3 black kids that allegedly killed that white kid, even though that cracker knocker is up out of here. I'm saying allegedly. You know what I mean? For the space context, that was out there by LeBron's school. And the white dudes, they ran up on them during the height of COVID. They start bucking them with like some type of them hardcore pellet water pistols and shit. So once the black kids figured out what it was, man, they went up on it. They started banging with the white jokers. Caught one of them slipping. The other 3 jokers hopped in the car and left their beatings, bro. So allegedly, the kids, stomp the white dude to death. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. Ain't that the same thing where they say to us, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? So anybody know what happened to those 3 kids? Are they still incarcerated? And have they been charged with anything? See what I'm saying? So, and it was a form of a campaign to have them incarcerated, embarrass LeBron, saying, look what this happened at your school, when it didn't even happen at the school. It happened at a park near the school, like maybe about 2 or 3 blocks the other way and shit, you know what I mean? So they trying to put LeBron in the mix, saying he has something to do with it, and those was his students and all this other stuff. Come on, man. The white kids that rolled up on the black kids wasn't even from that part of my act right now.
Yo, we did a space on that too, remember?
Say that again?
I said we did a space on that one too, remember?
What you say now?
No, I said we did a space on that too about the the kid that got killed over there by
Yeah, for sure. Hey, add that to the record books and Newstoter. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's getting harder to prove out here a but-for race clause. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, I'm being ostracized or being tormented and terrorized and being, denied employment because of my skin color or because of my race or because of my ethnicity and all this other shit. This shit is a problem, man. You know what I mean?
Real talk, cuz. Black Greatness 666. Did you want to go ahead and shout out to my girl Tweety, Miss Giselle, Rera? I see y'all up in here as well too. Ray, you back up in here. Black Empower. Shout out to all you guys coming up in the space as well too. Tonight we're talking about the white teen that's accused of trying to drown the black boy. Allegedly, he's out of jail with his daddy. He's charged with attempted murder. My thing too is that you could also add a hate crime to this as well too. Of course, they did not add a hate crime to it, but it damn sure should have been. People sitting up there and allegedly they heard people calling the boy George Floyd and stuff like that as he was fighting for his life. And even some of the other kids said that they heard someone say George Floyd as well too. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Do you guys think? What do you think was going to happen with this white kid in terms of him being tried? Do you guys think that he's going to actually serve any time? Do you think he's going to be tried as an adult? Do you think he's just going to get probation, a slap on the wrist when he turns 18? They go ahead and sponge up that record real nice for him. Do you think that they're gonna find a way to go ahead and pretty much get him up out of here with anything? Or do you think he's gonna actually serve some time? Are you a person that think that, hey, he's a young kid, he made a mistake, and he shouldn't have to pay for the rest of his life? Feel free to come on up here and discuss this topic tonight, guys. Like I say, shout out to all you guys up in the space tonight as well. Too glad to have you up here on this Thursday night space in the Newstoter space. Black Greatness 666. You got something you want to add real quick?
Absolutely. Shout out to you, brother Newstoter. Shout out to you for this space. Really appreciate it. Shout out to you, DJ. Good to see you, brother. Valid motherfucking points. Absolutely, brother. Good to hear from you. Great points you were making about affirmative action. I really appreciate that. But I mean, to speak on this topic, again, I'm just glad you're hosting this space because I seen this shit yesterday, I believe. And I saw the video of the fat white ass little boy going into court with his fat, chunky, piece of shit ass. One thing I'll say to what you asked, yes, I do believe he's going to receive a slap on the wrist. They're going to say that he didn't know any better. And he's not going to be charged with anything that's going to be substantial. This was actually a question I posed to folks. I believe it was 2 or 3 days ago. How many times have we seen hate crimes being slapped on these white folk for the terror that they're causing our people? Because I can't recall. I mean, we've seen our people get slaughtered in grocery stores and Dollar Trees. We've seen all type of things where our people are just walking targets. But I haven't heard we're going to put a hate crime on this. We're going to charge these motherfuckers to the full extent of the law, which is a problem that I have with our people when we're screaming, protect us, protect us. Nobody's going to protect us but ourselves. That's it. If you're relying on the United States government, these crooked-ass court systems to protect us, then you're living in delusion. And it's time to wake up from that and start to realize that this shit can't keep happening without us wanting to retaliate. Fuck this internet shit. Come get me. Who gives a fuck? We have to be willing to retaliate. And if that means we kill them, if that means we beat them brutally, I don't give a fuck. Who cares? But to this situation, man, it's funny because just last night, in space I held, I brought up the brother Jaylen Brown. And when he signed his NBA contract, I know you brothers remember this, they brought up the wealth gap between black people and white people. White people had damn near $250,000 of wealth on average in Boston. The black folk had $8. I'll say that again. The white folk had $250,000 in wealth on average. That's what median means. On average. And on average, the black folks had $8. So when you're poor like that, we know the system does not give a fuck about you. When you have money like that, we know that you're going through an entire different criminal justice system. Because now you can buy a lawyer that knows the judge, sleeps with the judge system, goes to play golf with the judge, knows where the judge goes to eat, and they can make deals outside that courtroom that they'll never admit to. But they're gonna protect those motherfuckers with money. Cause this ain't the space to be laughing in, brother. I fuck with you. This ain't the space to be laughing in. Cause ain't shit funny right now. And that's the problem I have with Twitter niggas. It's too much hee-hee, too much ha-ha. But white folks are literally showing us day in and day out that they'll kill our motherfucking asses. And it won't be a goddamn thing you niggas will do about it. But get on the app and complain about an African or an African American. That's all you niggas like talking about. So that's why I'm shouting out news talk. Because Nixie has the goals to open this motherfucking space up and talk about what happened.
with that white boy trying to kill that young black brother. You need to get serious some motherfucking times as AP. There's a time to laugh. And there's a time when you should have some motherfucking anger about what's happening to our motherfucking people outside day in and day motherfucking out. So I just Googled the city because I know it's not Boston.
No, I think it's Chapman or something like that.
Chatham or some shit. You know, niggas don't know shit about that. We don't know shit about Massachusetts, but Boston. But I Googled the city. It's a very affluent city. The average income of a four family is over $250,000. So it makes me think, who are these black people? I don't want to blame my people, but we're gonna start having these conversations about scary ass bitch niggas that leave the comfort of living next to black folk to put their motherfucking children in danger of these rabid ass vicious white motherfuckers. We're gonna start having conversations about that. And how niggas think that, oh, you can say, oh, no, son, I ain't did nothing wrong. Oh, play nice and think that that's gonna get your people out of trouble all the motherfucking time. It's not gonna work. Because we don't talk about the kids. We're always worried about ourselves. What we gotta do, what we should do. What about what these kids should do that are 5 to motherfucking 18 years old and that frontal lobe ain't developed? Their skills of how to maneuver out of certain troubles, it ain't developed yet. And then you send them around a bunch of motherfucking white kids to grow up and not teach them exactly who the fuck they are and exactly who those motherfucking white folks are. They are enemies. Whether some of you niggas like to hear that or not, there are enemies. I don't give a fuck how nice they are to you. I don't give a fuck how nice they treat you. Nigga, they want your ass in a body bag. And until we start to recognize that as a people, this shit like this just never stop. It's only going to get worse. This shit is only getting worse. It makes me think about Kyle Rittenhouse bringing his bitch ass up to Kenosha, right outside Milwaukee. You niggas know that's where I'm from. Bringing his white ass up there. Now, he ended up killing 3 white folk, right?
Hey, real quick, Black Great. Hey, real quick. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. Hold on, DJ, hold it down real quick, and I'll be right back. All right.
God damn, nigga, you gotta go take a bathroom break.
What the fuck this nigga talking about? Oh Lord.
Nigga, I know what that is. That's how I be on the space. I just get up. Shit, niggas don't say shit. Leave the space. But yeah, when Kyle Rittenhouse came his bitch ass to Kenosha and shot those 3 white folk, he was aiming for niggas like me. He was coming down there to kill niggas like me. And then you had a bunch of bitch ass black folks on the internet. Oh, he only killed white folks. Why are we upset about that? Why are we upset about our lives being in danger? Why is there something that we even discuss as a people? Why isn't it that we're not saying, you know what, let's retaliate. Open the motherfucking internet. Same way these white motherfuckers plan how they're gonna kill us. Open the internet. So don't tell me that, oh, the government's listening. Oh, the feds are gonna get us. Nigga, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? But see, we ain't ready for that. We ain't ready for that. I know this shit for a fact. Because when I talk this shit real life to folks that I know in real life, that I've touched, I've hugged, I've loved, they're scared of that. Then when I bring that shit on this app, I feel the tension through the motherfucking device. That niggas are scared of that. They don't want to talk about that. That's gotta be another way, Black. We can't just go out here trying to kill all the white folk. Or we're just gonna keep sitting back and watching shit like this happen. So no, I don't think anything substantial will come out of this. If you've ever been down to the courthouse, when those white boys stand in front of those judges, they're always innocent. That judge sympathizes with those white boys, white girls, but mostly white boys. They sympathize with those white boys. Oh, you didn't know any better. Oh, you made a mistake. We wouldn't want this to ruin your life. But let's reverse that. Let's say the black team was accused of trying to drown a white boy. He was still being jailed. I don't give a fuck if his family was worth $5 million motherfucking dollars. He would still be sitting his black ass in jail. And then when he came up to meet that motherfucking judge, you know what they would say to that young nigga? You knew better. You knew better. So you should have did better. And they would ruin his motherfucking life. They would charge him as a motherfucking adult. They would make sure that his life becomes hell every motherfucking waking day after that situation. But that's not going to happen in this case. And we know why it's not going to happen. So my thing is, because we can sit here and we can be upset like I am, and I'm glad you open this space. I'm telling you, Newstoter. Because these niggas goofy. They too fucking goofy for me, man. Nobody wants to talk about the real shit. I swear to God. And I needed to vent this shit out after I saw that video last night. I needed to vent this shit out. I needed to say what the fuck I feel in my motherfucking heart and how I feel in my motherfucking mind. I need to say this shit. Because if I don't, nigga, this shit is gonna bubble, and I'm gonna fucking pop. So I appreciate you brothers for that. I swear to God I do. We have disagreements, but who gives a fuck? We're black. I wouldn't want to see shit happen to you niggas or your family, like what continues to happen to our people over and over and over and over again. Shit is fucking maddening and it's sick. Yeah, that's my contribution, brother. It's nothing but anger and being pissed the fuck off. Because that's all I have to offer when we talking about situations like these. And I'm holding back for being pessimistic about who this young brother's parents are, about why the fuck he was in that type of environment. See, we don't think like that when black kids are around these white kids. We don't think, why were they in that environment? Why were they in a situation where a bunch of white folk can gather up, calling them George Floyd, as they attempt to try to take his motherfucking life? We don't think to ourselves like that. But if it was a bunch of niggas out there and your son was out there, you would think, why was he in that situation? That would be something we talk about. But see, when it's white folk, we're like, oh, those were niggas trying to make a better living for themselves. And the white folk are just, evil. Well, we know they're evil. We know they're terrorists. We know they're murderers. So why the fuck do we continue to subject ourselves to these white motherfuckers without the thought that, hey, I'm willing to protect myself up until death and any motherfucking body that I love? Why isn't that our thought? So I'll leave y'all with that, man. Because I can just rant and yell and be mad at a motherfucker about this shit. But it ain't gonna change the motherfucking thing. Nothing's gonna happen to this white boy. He's out of jail.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100% on that. That's why I ain't me and your mic telling you shut the fuck up about it. You know what I'm saying? And trust me when I tell you, I say the same things. There are people right here in this space, on a regular. Hey, get your business together. Get your 2A together. Put a nigga down if you got to. We'll come bail you out in the morning. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we ain't looking for everybody to change because niggas ain't gonna change. I see that shit clearly already. We up here arguing about what the fuck we calling ourselves in order to get reparations. That shit don't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? Call me what the fuck you want. Cut the fucking check. You know what I'm saying? You back, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm back. Just
but now go ahead.
No, go ahead and because I didn't catch all of what he was saying and stuff like that too. Also, for anybody that wants to speak as well, definitely come on up here as well too. We definitely want to hear. We definitely like I say, this is a story that we definitely need to go ahead and keep up in the actual in everybody's consciousness, because I pretty much have an idea of how I think this thing is going to play out. And before you know it, like I say, it's just
drop down, come back. I can't hear you.
Okay, go ahead. Before you know it, it's just going to be another story of boys being boys.
Drop it down.
Okay, all right. Let me go ahead and drop you down. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the Twitters and stuff like that, but yeah, before you know it, it's just going to be another story of boys being boys. And, it was just horseplay that got out of hand and no harm, no foul. And because I can pretty much already see the way they spinning this thing right now. So like I said, and the fact of the matter, I was surprised that they actually have the white kids picture that you can actually see, because normally with juveniles, they don't actually show their pictures and stuff like that, especially white juveniles. When they've been charged with a crime like that, they do everything they can to go ahead and keep their identity a secret. So I was kind of surprised about that, but I would be really, really surprised if this kid actually does he gets hit with anything, really, you know what I'm saying? So I just want everybody to kind of go ahead and keep this story out there as much as possible. Matter of fact, in the Jumbotron on the far right-hand side, on the right-hand side, the very first one on the right-hand side is the actual article, guys. Go ahead and retweet that article out. Right now, while we're in the space, we got about 30 some odd people in the space. Definitely go ahead and retweet the article out. Let's go ahead and get as many people to see this article and read it and share it as well too. Like I said, he's being charged with this right here, but being charged, we know, doesn't mean being convicted. He also could have been charged with a hate crime, but I know they would. I know they wouldn't put no hate crime on a 14-year-old white kid. They just not going to do that. So we definitely want to go ahead and keep this story out there. There's so many different spaces and stuff like that. That's why I say that's one thing we try to go ahead, and we're trying to keep the actual we're trying to keep important topics out there for the people as well too. Yeah, we have to switch it up sometimes, and we add some entertainment type things as well in these spaces and stuff like that. But you guys know that come to these spaces, a lot of times we're talking about what's going on, what's current in America, in the news and everything else, what's impacting Black lives and stuff like that, whether indirectly or directly. So, and this is definitely impacting Black lives right here. Definitely, guys, go ahead. And like I said before, a lot of y'all got up in the space. I was also talking about, I know y'all seen a video of the football coach sitting up there threatening a 14-year-old Black kid, a 260-pound football coach sitting up here threatening a dude that's 130 pounds, hoping he gets up so he can knock him out. Hoping this Black boy sticks his chest out so he can knock him out. You know, and I don't know if this dude has been fired yet, but he should never hold another coaching job in his life, period. You know, he should never hold another coaching job. He should not be suspended with pay and none of that other stuff. He should be outright fired. You know, the fact of the matter that, and if y'all get a chance to see that video, the video was crazy. He's sitting up here telling the boy to get up, to stand up so he could hit him, so he can knock him out. As if you fighting another man, as if that's a fair fight. This is you got a big ass man up here sitting up here talking about fighting a boy. And you know, if he holds another coaching job, that dude should have been let go the minute that actual video came out. He should have been fired right there on the spot. He should never hold another coaching job. He should be gone. The way he was threatening this kid right here made absolutely no sense. I don't know what this boy did on the football field. I don't know what he said to him or whatever. Whatever he did, whatever he said, still didn't require him to speak to him like that. You know, it's one thing to be tough and you know, you got to have a certain toughness to play football or be disciplined, this and that or whatever. It's another thing to chew players out. It's another thing to sit up there and straight up threaten a kid and tell him that you're gonna knock his punk ass out and all this other kind of stuff. Like a coach sitting up here telling the player he gonna knock his punk ass out. Like, what did this kid do to you to get you to that point where you all riled up? So like I said, there's so many different instances, so many different things that's going on. Every day we tweeting it out, we putting the stuff out there. We definitely need the family to start going, sharing this stuff, liking this stuff, pushing this stuff out there. Yesterday we had the space, like I said, for those that missed it, we had a space we was talking about the Gullah Geechees and the fact that they're sitting up here trying to property that's been in their family for over 200 some odd years. They're trying their damnedest to keep that property. But once again, you got the wealthy developers coming in trying to snatch it all up from and everything like that. So these are the type of issues. These are the type of things, you know, guys, that, yeah, we can hold a bunch of different spaces, but we need to hold some spaces on some stuff that really, really matter as well too. Let's go ahead and try to do what we can for our people. You know, for everybody that's on these spaces, you may not have a huge platform, but for those that have a significant one, go ahead and use it for some good too, man. Go ahead and try to get the things out there as well, man, as much as possible. Like, because it's not letting up anytime soon. You had this heifer with the Denny's and stuff like that. This Karen Denny's up there calling the cops on the truckers and everything else like that. Denny's is a place I have not eaten at since the damn mid-90s. Denny's is known for having damn class action, racial discrimination lawsuits and everything else. I have not eaten at Denny's since the damn 90s. You got these Karens popping up left and right, trying to get people killed, getting people arrested. this is the kind of stuff, man. Like I said, we need to go ahead and start focusing on some of this stuff and pushing some of this stuff out there as much as possible, man. So definitely, and shout out to, like I said, to my people up in the space. I want to get some of y'all.
Listen, before you shut this motherfucker down,
Go ahead.
I just want to go back to the situation with this young brother. They said the young brother got in the water with a life jacket. They laughed at him, calling him George Floyd. When he got into the water, one of the white boys grabbed his feet, trying to pull him under the water. So I mean, what you're talking about, with the boys will be boys. Yeah, I agree with you. That's the route they're gonna take this shit. And that's when we should be pissed the fuck off as a people. Because if we're not gonna protect our children, our women feel like we don't protect them. What the fuck are we doing as a people? Our elders are being killed left and right. What the fuck are we doing as a people? What needs to happen to black people for us to realize that these motherfuckers are out for our blood, as young as their kids? Now it's crazy, right? Because I've gotten on this app and I've told niggas, I don't give a fuck about a white baby. I don't give a fuck about a white granny, a white grandfather. I've told niggas this. Why do I say that? Because of shit like this. Shit like this. I'm not gonna find myself having empathy and sympathy for my motherfucking enemy when I got problems with other niggas. I'm not gonna find myself doing that. I hate all white people for a reason. It ain't a motherfucker can budge me off of that. On the app or off the app for a reason. Because you'll have a situation like this where a white boy literally attempted murder. And he gets out of juvenile. Now, don't out to your juvenile. I don't give a fuck what city you're in. Most of you niggas ain't never been down to the juvenile court. You probably been down to the courthouse, I'm pretty sure, because they caught a lot of us on some bullshit. But you probably ain't never been down to the juvenile court. It's similar to the courthouse, nigga. Bunch of motherfucking black boys lining the fuck up, waiting their motherfucking sentences from white motherfucking judges who act like they're doing them a favor by taking them from their families and keeping them locked up in motherfucking cells. Now, in Milwaukee, there was a juvenile detention center they had to shut down because they were in there beating the young black boys. They were in there letting the young black boys fight each other like rabid motherfucking pit bulls. So they had to shut the motherfucker down. And of course, it was a fight to shut it down because our lives are worth money. Us being locked inside cages as young as 12 and 11 years old, that's worth money. But see, this white boy being locked up, that ain't worth no money. That ain't worth no money. And we know white folks are dying out, so they're not going to take a white boy's life away from him and all of his potential of making money and having a family. So if this shit doesn't piss you off, I'm telling you niggas, stay the fuck away from me. I swear to God.
Real talk. I mean, it should bother everybody up in the space, like I said, because it could easily be anybody who has a child up in here, anybody has a son. It could easily be one of us with our kids up in here. So I'm in agreement with you on that right there. I can definitely feel you on that. Being a father, having sons and stuff like that. I definitely understand where you're coming from. And I think, I think even our people that don't have any kids up in here, or even have sons or whatever, they feel the same way for the most part or whatever. But that's what I'm saying, man. Now is a time, and if you got a platform, and that's why it's important to go ahead and talk about this stuff, put it out. But also, we also got to do more than just talking about it as well, too. We got to go ahead and take some action as well, too. We got to start doing something out here as well, too, because it's not changing for the better. It's getting worse. Nobody seems to respect black people, especially black men. So, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So, we need to go ahead and start using our power and stuff like that. We got people that's mobilizing out there on the streets. They're doing things as well, too. So for the people that's out there in the grassroots that's actually doing stuff, go ahead and give them their respect, because it's not easy to go out there and do what they're doing. At the same time, like I say, guys, everybody has a position to play. You may not be You may not be somebody that goes out there and do the grassroots. You may do something else as well too. So I don't want to shame anybody and say, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. You got to do what you feel like is best in terms of contributing and helping as much as possible as well too. So I definitely want to say that much as well too. If we can't get anybody else to come on up here, man, and I guess we'll go ahead and we'll close it out for the night. Because, like I said, we ain't gonna push the envelope. We we want to get people to come up here and speak and whatnot. But if everybody is chill and whatnot, and like I say, there's topics, and that's one thing I'm gonna say this right here before I close it out. I see many spaces that we have, and depending on even the certain spaces I have, some of our people come up here and you can't get them off the microphone. Something like this right here, I'm kind of surprised that we ain't got more people speaking up on this right here as well too. Like I said, there's certain spaces I've had where I've had to go and I've had to extend it and whatnot because everybody wanted to talk and whatnot. This kid right here, they breaking him in he's a teenager and they breaking him in. They trying to go ahead and kill this dude allegedly. So the fact of the matter that that we don't have a whole lot of our people speaking on it. Now, if he goes ahead, this white boy go ahead and he gets acquitted and nothing happens to him, I want everybody to stay quiet on that as well too. Miss Giselle, I see you came up here. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, hey, good evening, everybody.
Hey, what's up now?
Just learned about this story. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you kind of was breaking up for a second, but go ahead.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just hearing about the story. Honestly, I didn't hear anything about it, so I started reading what you had.
You just started hearing about this, Miss Giselle?
I understand the story.
Okay. Wait, before you say anything else, let me say this right here. Everybody in this space listening, this is why it's vital to go to newstoter.com daily. I've tweeted this article out a few times over the last few days or whatever. If you want to stay informed on what's going on in Black America today, go to the largest Black American-owned news media curation platform today in America. You will stay up to date with what's current and what's going on in Black America. You guys follow me. Make sure when you see me tweeting out this information, you start looking at some of this stuff and retweeting it as well too. It is important to go to newstoter.com. If you just got to go there for a minute a day to surf, go there for a minute a day to surf. Let me go to the news section, see what he got over there. Let me go to the lifestyle. Let me go to the entertainment or whatever. Go to newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking news in Black America. Not to cut you off, sweetie, but go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, I've been in and out because we got some stuff that we're working on out here. But I think that situation, you don't hear anything about it because they suppress the news. So the good thing is that you're hosting this space. Now we need to know who the family is, to be honest. Because I would like to know who his family is. I would like to know, again, why would he be put in that position? Because we do have to look at this like it's war. And usually it's people that feel safe in those spaces. Most of us don't feel safe. I know I don't feel safe in their neighborhoods. I'd rather be in the hardest of the before I go to their neighborhood. So I don't know. I just want to know more about like the situation. Not saying it's not important, or not saying we should just say, "Hey, this happened to the Black kid." I want to know. It could be an adopted kid by one of these white families. It could be anything. That's why I'm trying to read through this article. But yeah, it's the effed up situations, and we absolutely have to watch our kids. My kids were invited. My son was invited to Booker's. 1 year. He was like 16. They was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a house party." I'm taking my son to the house party.
Mine was too, Miss Giselle. My youngest boy was invited to a football game. He told me at the last minute, one of the Florida State games. One of his white kids he knew at school invited him to a Florida State game. I'm like, well, you gotta let me know this beforehand. Then the white kid was talking about if he could spend the night at this. I said, hell no. No, you're not spending the night at nobody's house, least of all this person right here. And then they was talking about the kid was talking about, well, he wanted to come over on the 4th of July because we had some fireworks. I'm like, no, man. No.
Yeah, that's why, like, stuff like that, I personally, I just wouldn't put first of all, I wouldn't put my kids in that situation. My son has been to sleepovers, cousins. We don't do really outside people like that. And on top of that, even family will like we'll see you in the morning. What we got sleepovers, what we got to do sleepovers for. Like my kids don't really do sleepovers unless it's like relatives that I know. Where they good at because there's too much shit that happen in the middle of the night anyway. We don't know this child upbringing. Your child wake up with something sticking in his mouth, then that'll be another story you got to deal with. I don't trust none of them, and like everybody should always be cautious about the people who have their kids. The people that your children are hanging with. I know everybody's mother. I know their parents, mothers and fathers, and then you get to know how the kids are. Because usually the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. But it's important to do that. And that's on all levels because we just got to watch who our kids are hanging with anyway. And we do watch more with black kids, like the other brother was saying, than white kids. Because when you see too many black kids outside, the first thing people say, they're like, oh my goodness, all these kids, something get ready to pop off. Like, we should absolutely do that. I feel that way when I see too many white people. Like, immediately. I feel more safe with us than I do any of them, especially my kids. And unfortunately, it's not always the case with our people, but definitely not safe with them. But that's all I wanted to say because I want to finish reading the article that you had. Did they have any news reports on this?
Well, I mean that article was from Black Enterprise right there, but I'm not sure what's the current. I'm sure they'll be posting more and more stuff as well too. If you get to the site, Mr. Zell, and you click read more and it doesn't go all the way, that means if it doesn't click and go to the actual parent site, that means that you need to disable your pop-up blocker just in case, because sometimes people have an issue with their pop-up blockers stops them from actually reading the entire article. So just to give a head up, but I'm serious about that. If y'all try it, because tweeting 30, 40 articles out a day on Twitter, that gets kind of tiresome. If you want to actually get to the actual content, go to the actual site, everybody. Like I said, we're on a white-owned site right now. We don't have a problem supporting white folks as much as we bitch and cry about it. We will sit our black behind somewhere and we will support white folks. I got socially funded up in the Jumbotron on the far left-hand side. That's Black majority states. Social media platform. Go ahead. The actual link, my actual link to the actual funded socially is up in the Jumbotron on the far left-hand side, guys. Go there and create a profile and start participating on a black-owned platform. We always talk about supporting black business, supporting black people, doing things that's black or whatever. Whenever it's time to really go ahead and put that actual put that work in, then we always kind of like, we kind of fall back on that or whatever. So let's just stop always talking about what we gonna do. Let's always, I mean, that was so real on that Do the Right Thing, the late Robin Harris, when he told the dudes we sitting out on the corner, talk about always black folks always talk about what you gonna do with that old Keith Sweat. I'm gonna stop talking what you gonna do and just go ahead and do it. Like, Lord have mercy, go ahead and do something except just popping and running your mouth or something like that. Like, we always talk about what we gonna do. We always talk about how racist these social media platforms are. Yeah, they racist because they can be racist. Like, it's their platforms. They can do whatever the hell they want to do with it. I mean, think about it. Why wouldn't they? You talk about Elon Musk. You talk about somebody that come from South Africa of all places. What? Please, how many hundreds of millions of dollars this dude done been sued for with Tesla and everything else? And even when he gets sued, you got some crooked judge coming in and lower the damn payment down. So definitely, man, start supporting. It doesn't take any time to actually go over there and get a profile on there. Go and support funded socially over there. Support Newstoter.com. Support our black-owned businesses. Anybody you know that has a black-owned business, go ahead and support it. And if that means, I'm talking about even in your local areas, if that means going to a restaurant, getting something to eat, taking your car maybe once a month and once every 2 months to go get a detail by some of these black dudes out there detailing or whatever, do something, man. Do something. Even do something for black-owned business. If you got a bank, a black-owned bank in your city, and we don't, but if you do, go ahead and put your money in there. You don't have a problem putting it with the white folks. It's insured up to what, $200 some thousand anyway. So if something happened, they got to pay you your money. But go ahead, man, and start supporting Black-owned business, and start coming up with some, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, man, we got to start looking at doing group economics as well too. We got to go ahead and move it on, and we also got to make more noise when we see stuff like this happening. Like I said, this is a teenage boy up here. They're gonna let this little white kid. I can already see it. They're gonna find a way to get him off. We talk about Massachusetts. They are gonna find a way to get him off, and they're gonna sit up here, and before long, you'll have Fox News and everybody else painting him as a victim. Oh, it was just boys being boys, and now everybody wants to persecute him and ruin his entire life for a simple mistake. They were just horse playing out there. When I was a young boy, we used to play in the pool all the time and push each other heads down and wrestle and everything else. And now they want to end his life because he made a simple mistake. I mean, I already hear the nonsense getting ready to come out, and you know it because you've heard it before. You've heard it your whole life. So definitely, man, definitely go ahead, support Black-owned business, support Black content. When we have stories out there of interest like that, push the narrative, get it out there as many eyeballs as possible, man. That is the point of having social media and the internet and everything else. You don't, the days of having the CBS and NBC News be the only ones that solely give us news and stuff. Everybody in this space now has ability to go ahead and to disperse news within a fingertip. Everybody in this space. Everybody that's in this space has that ability. So definitely go ahead and do that, man. On that note, guys, I guess we're gonna go ahead and unless somebody wants to come up here, because like I say, we ain't gonna push a narrative. If you want to speak, you want to speak, but we ain't gonna hold it open. Y'all know I like to try to keep the spaces around by 2 hours or so anyway. So, we try to keep it open later if folks is actually up here participating in whatever. Black Greatness, shout out to you for coming up here speaking tonight. Shout out to you, Miss Giselle, as well too. DJ, as always, shout out to you. Shout out to Tweety. Shout out to Rerod. Shout out to Black Majority State. Shout out to Miss No Taxation, Ray Trouble, Shantae, everybody that's up in the space, guys. I definitely appreciate you, and I understand that sometimes y'all just want to listen, so there's no harm in that. So I definitely appreciate having you guys up in the space and supporting Newstoter as always, guys. We'll probably be back Monday night. We'll probably be back with our Twitter space or whatever. So definitely check us out, guys. And definitely, like I say, visit newstoter.com daily. Matter of fact, go visit it at least a minute a day. A minute. Go visit. All you gotta do is surf it. If you don't want to click the article, say I'm just gonna go from this. I'm gonna go from the news or the lifestyle or entertainment, then I'm gonna go back to Twitter. I'm gonna go back to the WPI, as DJ say. So on that note, everybody, thank you guys. Y'all have a good weekend, and we're gonna holler at you. We'll see you then. Peace.